Hi, yeah, Evil Softman here, back for another vid. Okay, tonight we're going to do like a look at the comparison between the two versions of the classic controller. Now, Snestastic Point wanted to know exactly what the differences were, and really a close-up view on the Pro Controller. But to show you the differences, you really have to see the original one, which is here. So I'll point it in and zoom it in. So basically, it kind of looks kind of like a SNES pad, but with two 3D sticks on it. And basically the problems with this are not really anything to do with the buttons, because it's basically a SNES, but these 3D sticks are really close together, and it's quite annoying to use when they're quite close together, because you can actually near enough touch both of them together while doing it. Also, they have these 5 buttons on the top of the controller. So you have your LR buttons and your Z left button, Z right, and one in the middle. Now, that's actually quite a handful to play when you're doing like games. It gets quite complicated because if you assign anything to these buttons, it's very hard to reach. Like say you're doing something in Tatsunoko vs Capcom and you've got specials or anything linked up to these, it's actually very hard to reach that and stretch over when you've got your hands near enough rested on the L and R buttons at the normal times. Now the one in the middle is like a latch. It's got these two like latches here, and you press these down and it's supposed to latch into something. Though for the life of me I cannot think of what it actually does latch into. So that's really what the classic controller looks like, the original one. Now to show you the comparison, here is the Pro Edition that I got with my Monster Hunter 3, and as you can see, real enough, it looks kind of similar at the front, but noticeably the 3D sticks are now further apart. This is a hell of a lot easier to control, especially like you're moving around for doing the Monster Hunter, like doing your camera panning and everything when you're moving about. This is much easier to do. Secondly, you'll look at the top now. There's only 4 buttons on the top now, plus the cables coming up the top there now as well, which is standardized really for a game controller. It should have been doing that from the first place. But the ZL button and the Z right button have now been put onto the back and actually looked out, so it actually works like a PS2 controller. Both of them are really a hell of a lot bigger now and a hell of a lot nicer to use. So you play like a fighting game kind of like how you would in a PS2 game, and it's actually really nice to use. The third difference really, and it's the most cosmetic of them, is the addition of these two legs, I would think you'd call them. I think what else you could call them, but it makes for a much nicer grip on the console. It's like having a GameCube controller in your hands again. It's like quite steady and held and that, and it's quite nice. Plus they've made the back of this, instead of like a plasticky like the original one, it's quite coarse, so you're not going to slip off these. It's actually really nice to hold on to. So yeah, I think it's a much better controller now to have the Pro Edition. I do think the Pro Edition comes in white, but not with Monster Hunter Tri. So if you want to scout that out, but I think, well, for Snestastic's case anyway, he is a black Wii, so it'd be better to have the black classic controller anyway, but the Pro Edition is definitely the one to go for. Alright, this is Evil Soft Man. I'll be back again soon. Out.